Okay, so today we're going to be getting, well, this is Saturday, so we're going to get a lot done, but the rest of it will be done tomorrow because we're waiting on, hopefully, they say the cam is supposed to show up tomorrow, which is tomorrow's Sunday. I've never had anything delivered to me on Sunday, but hey, there's a first for everything. So as you can see, the engine is completely torn down, got the cam out, everything. And basically I've smoothed the deck myself. It's pretty smooth now. I don't have one of those roughness gauges or anything like that, so I'm just, we're not even going to worry about any of that and hope for the best. As you can see, all the cylinders are nice and cleaned up as well, which, I mean, they weren't, there was nothing to them to begin with. It's not like it ran that long. Cam bearings, not going to look at this. Let's see here. And we're going to reuse the crank bearings. We're just going to clean them and then put some new assembly lube on the crank, which is down there, which we will also be cleaning that up, which I need to run and get some brake cleaner, because one of the things that you need to do is make sure that the surfaces underneath the bearings are completely clear and nice and clean of all oil. So I don't know if that was one of the things that was one of my issues with the other ones, but I'm not going to take any chances, so I'm going to make sure. Also, if you remember all the stuff that was in the that last oil filter, some of that was from whenever I had done the honing the last time, so I also want to make sure that everything is clear and clean. That means I'm going to spray down all these tubes. I'm going to get all this clean. Okay, so as you can see, we have total seal piston rings. We actually went with the, let me find one that I can grab easily. Yeah. So we went with the gas ported one. So as you can see, you can see right there, you got the little lines right there. So this would obviously face up. And the way they are supposed to work, I mean, I've never used them, so I'm only going based on what I read, is that the gas actually comes in behind the piston ring and then pushes the piston ring out faster. So it's supposed to seal quicker. That's what I've heard. And then I went with some Gen 4 rods, some actual Gen 4 rods. The ones I had they were actually Gen 4 rods also. So these are the Summit Pro LS series of pistons. Now the thing about the pistons that LS makes, the thing about the piston Summit makes, the forged ones, they are, from what I've read, the way they do it is there's a private label system, and big name companies will make some of their product without any labels on it, or it might be outdated stuff, something to that extent, and then Summit buys them and they use that, and that means that what that means is that you're getting a good quality product usually. So it could be, I'm probably going to butcher the way they sing, so have fun in the comments. Waseco pistons, DSS pistons. You never know what you're going to get. It depends on what they have in stock at that time. And so, as you can see, we went with the was it a plus 12 cc, so it would, the dish, so hopefully that was good. That's good for some boost. It should be. So we also went through and gapped all the piston rings to 0.028. That's the top and the top and the second ring got gapped to 0.028. And it actually has a whole little thing right here, and it shows you all this stuff right here, so you can actually use this to double check your hone. Not like I can fix that or anything, but it also tells you what grit that they recommend. And so that's what. And let's see, does that show anything? Y'all have seen me do the gapping of piston rings, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put everything back into this. Well, pistons, everything like that. I still got to get new ARP studs, because I was still using some cheap ones in the last one, to be honest. But we are going to go with straight up ARP. I'm not going to mess around anymore, because we are going turbo, obviously, so those cheap Chinese ones, they're just not going to be what I want to do. And then tomorrow, the cam comes in, and so we'll actually install the cam as well. and that'll be fun. Now we will try and see if we can dial it in. Probably not going to on that video though. It'll probably be a whole nother video on its own, because dialing in a cam, it's a lot of work, and I want to make sure I research it right, get it properly done, because like I said, that is it's necessary, especially whenever you're wanting to make sure that you don't have any, you know, piston to valve interference or anything like that. So, which I shouldn't, even though as long as I install it properly with the time and everything like that, I shouldn't have any problems with any piston valve clearance. But you know, it's always good to just make sure. And I don't really have an adjustable camshaft gear, so I can't really adjust it any. So I pretty much just got to go with what I got, to be honest with you. Not really much I can do. You know, trying to adjust it by tooth isn't really gonna be nothing. Anyways, let's get this thing back together. So check it out. The cam actually came in early. So this is the LS, the Summit Racing Pro LS camshaft. It is the what is it, the 8716R. Yeah, so as you can see right there, 8716R. This is going to be their performance with this turbo based. And so as you can see, or let me get it out of here and I'll come. What we have right here on the right, obviously, is the stock one that came out of the truck. And you'll notice a difference here between this lobe and this lobe. So as you can see, or not see, it's hard to tell on the camera, but this one has more duration. So that means it's going to keep the valves open longer. These have a bit more of a, it's hard to, maybe you can see it that way. Yeah, you see the variation in it right there. So these have a bit more, these are going to hold the valves open longer. And this, like I said, this is their turbo boost, basically. Stage 3 cam. And we're going to go ahead and install it in this girl right here. We're going to turn the motor back over the way it would make it a little bit easier to go in, so we're not having to bend it all the way over there. But I just wanted to show you the difference in the two. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen it before. But this right here is going to be a fantastic cam to go in. So let's go ahead and get this one out of the way and get this motor turned back over. Got her put in, and it looks good. I like the way these forged pistons look up here. As you can see, I weighed every single one of them, decided which side they were going to go on. The rods, now I don't know if this is something that's actually necessary, but there's a little dimple on the Gen 4 rods, and I had them all point to the back just based on one video I watched, which, you know, hey, he had very compelling information. So that's what I went with. So now we just got to go ahead and put the plate on the back here, and yeah, then there's not much left to do back here. Then, because I still got to get the new ARP studs, and then I want to get some L92 heads, but I'm trying to find them. I want to find them at the junkyard because they're cheaper there, and I'd like to just go ahead and clean them up and do it that way. But you know, that's going to be challenging. So we'll probably go ahead and put the valley cover back on, and then go ahead and put the front pieces back on. We can go ahead and put the oil pump back on. But before, let's go ahead and I want to show you how we can upgrade that oil pump just to have just a bit more pressure. So you'll notice that on the bottom side, so this would be seated like this, or well, technically on the motor, it would actually be on the motor like this, you know. So this is where the pickup tube actually goes into it at. And so this port right here, what you can actually do is, let me put this down. So this is the actual screw that goes up in there. So what you're trying to do is just change the spring rate. And so you can stick that up in there and just use something to just flatten it out. And so basically all you're doing with that is changing the spring rate. You don't need much. Now this isn't going to increase the pressure a whole lot. Maybe 10 pounds, who knows. So what we're going to do is, yeah, all this has to do is just go back on here now. And we'll screw it back in. And for those of you wondering, this is a 8mm Allen wrench. So now that we've actually done that, now we actually have a much stronger oil pump. Not really stronger, but it'll produce a little bit more oil pressure. So let's go ahead and clean this thing off of all this extra stuff, and we'll pop this thing on there, and I'll show you what you got to do. Actually, something I didn't do when I first did it, which is actually center this thing on the assembly. So let's get this cleaned up. Okay, so we have it to this point. We're going to go ahead and just put these bolts in. We're not going to tighten them down all the way. We're just going to get them finger tight. Okay, so what we're going to do now that we have this there, we are going to turn this over a few times. The reason why this is it centers all of this whole system right here with everything right here. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and torque down all of this stuff right here. Okay, so check it out. Got all nice, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pistons, oriented in the proper direction. As you can see, they are all weighed and they are all labeled, because I want to make sure I got them all mostly balanced out. Because I mean, of course I could have taken it to somebody and had them do it, or I could have just got a scale and weighed everything myself. So we got the cam in, got the covers on front and back, got the sensors on, got the valley cover on, NOx sensors, oil pressure sensor. All we need now for right here is got to put the lifters in, which actually we could go ahead and do that as well, because this is an open hole. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Okay, now I think we're good for the night and for the video, because there's not really much else we can do right now. Got to get some new head gaskets, and like I said, I'm still trying to get a good set of L92 heads. I think that they would work really good here. And then obviously got to either get a new timing cover that has the oil drains for the two turbos, or I get the one from Motion Raceworks. It's like $169. It's not that bad of a price, but like I said, we might be able to just tap these holes out right here, because I mean, it almost looks like it's designed to have something there. So we might utilize that in a way. Because, like I said, I have already the drain lines, so I just need basically just a 10 AN fitting to come off of it that this could screw to. So it might be the way it goes. We'll have to see. I'll have to check on Michael's welding. This is a bit thicker, so it should work a lot better. I don't even know if y'all saw that, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, I'm just ready. I'm happy. I'm so happy, so ready for this. I want to test out this cam, because this is a stage 3, so it's going to be very lopey. And then with these nice new pistons, they called for a 4.005 bore, and based on my measurements, I had a 4.005 bore. So hopefully this all works out great. Still got a few more parts to get, but that is going to do it for this video. And that one right there, as you can see. Yeah, that video will be coming out very soon. If you even made it this far in this video, if you have, I gotta say, congratulations. And there's probably a few of you that have, and I appreciate you guys. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.